So here's a bit of a switch. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite retail job, rather than the many horrible ones that I've had to go through. I'm still going to include this in the Retail Horror Story series to keep things organized on the channel though, but let's roll the intro. This video is sponsored by the Coldest Water. During the lockdown, it was difficult for me to get my proper daily water intake, but with the Coldest 32-ounce sports bottle, it's really helped me to get my health back on track. Drinking more water is something that's always been a struggle for me, but honestly not anymore thanks to this bottle. I can fill it up with ice at the beginning of my work shift, and it's still full of ice when I clock out for the day. If I wanted to spice things up a bit, I could even keep my drink cold for up to 36 hours, which is way past the amount of time I'm usually working. Not to mention, it also keeps your drinks hot for up to 12 hours as well, so it's a win-win situation for all you coffee drinkers out there. I even bring the bottle with me when I go to the gym, so it's nice to have after a good cardio workout. It's really convenient, and it really helps for gas mask wearing nerds like yours truly. Links are in the description if you want to check them out yourself, and if you want to get a similar bottle, this is the Coldest 32-ounce sports bottle. So back in the summer of 2015, I actually worked 2 jobs that year. One of them was my first and only attempt at fast food, and that was Sonic Drive-In. And I worked there for about a week before I actually got laid off by the manager because they just couldn't put me on the schedule and they hired too many people. I mean, I'm not really complaining about it because the job was horrible, so I think it was for the best. I was actually working along with my older brother at the time, and that's a whole nother story because it was quite the experience. But if you want a timeline of these events, this happened before, during, and after the St. Louis, Missouri Let's Go video from 2015. I'd actually called Sonic on the way home from St. Louis, and that was actually, I think, when I figured out that I got laid off. Anyway, so later on in the summer, about July, I got hired at Toys R Us. It was honestly one of the most positive experiences I had during a hiring process because it usually is really dull and boring in businesses with just generic interview questions, but Toys R Us had a really unique process in the group interview that I did, and the fact that we had to build a toy from Lego pieces and actually pitch it to the store management team. I don't really recall the details of the toy, only that it was some drone type thing with different brands and voice clips associated with it, but with my YouTube commentary experience, they were really impressed with my pitch, and I got an interview with the electronics department manager, who was also a major gamer too. We had a nice discussion, and they told me that if I got the job, I'd get a phone call within a week. I remember at the time I was actually with my friend Gray, who was another member of the channel, and I believe we were watching Terminator Genisys in theaters at the time, and that's when I got the phone call. And honestly, I was super excited because the whole reason I wanted a summer job was to help finance a gaming computer because, as past footage shows, my recording capabilities were really limited at the time, and that's a big reason why the Coyote Classics Remastered series is a thing, to really fix the bad FPS of that footage from back then. Fraps, I can never use Fraps again, just no. Anyway, so the job was pretty straightforward. I would stay around the electronics desk, but also patrol the aisles nearby if any customers were to need help, and honestly, I absolutely loved the job. I got to work around toys, games, technology, really everything that I personally enjoy. I think the only gripe I had was that the Nintendo section had an amiibo machine that looped Mario's voice every 5 minutes, and it just got really annoying after a while. I think I even heard Mario's voice in my dreams a couple times.
Hello? Hello? Hello everyone, it's me, Mario!
This was around the time amiibos were really being scalped heavily as Smash Bros. Wii U had just recently come out, so I was an inside man for most of my friends who wanted to get certain amiibos. Overall, my routine was to sell games, electronics, toys, and answer phone calls for people who wanted to know what games were in stock at the time. I even did some Xbox tech support to some 14-year-old who needed some help, and while I'm not Microsoft, I did the best that I could. At the end of every night, I would check our stock of tablets, turn off alarms, and put display items in the closet until morning. The people I worked with were really great, and I still see my former manager from time to time at various stores. I think I saw her at Walmart, Lowe's, and pretty much everywhere I've worked since then. Of course, our local Toys R Us closed along with all the other ones in the country, but I hope maybe one day the brand can come back to my area and I can reapply for it. I know that it's making a comeback nationally, but there's only just a few stores, and I doubt that they're gonna come this far out in the next few years. I do have a few negative experiences that happened at Toys R Us with customers that I'll put in a future video if I'm feeling particularly up for it, but there was this one time a biker dude got super offended when I asked if he was having a good day, to the point I nearly had to call the police on him. He was yelling, cussing, threatening me, he looked like he was gonna come over to the desk and assault me. He was just not a very happy camper. He even went to my manager and complained that my generation was super disrespectful and that he should get like all this super uber duper respect because he was a Vietnam veteran or something. But you're the one who's screaming at a 19-year-old in a Toys R Us, so don't lecture me about respect. I mean, seriously, dude, if you get that offended by people, then maybe you should go cry about it on your Tumblr blog. Honestly, there isn't too much to say. I had a really positive experience working for Toys R Us. The only problems I had were the monotony of patrolling the electronics aisle, and since it was out of the Christmas season, we really didn't get that many people coming in. So this was kind of a quick one, and if you're particularly curious about things about the job, I'd be happy to clarify in the comment section. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.